don't want to talk.
But dang, how you doing today?
Good, I don't want to talk.
Why you always tell me that?
Because I don't like talking to you. I don't like talking to you.
But you won't even let me ask the question before you try to answer.
You just said, how are you? You just said, how are you?
Oh my goodness, Demi, why you so rude to your daddy?
I don't like talking to you.
But that doesn't give you a reason to be rude. You gotta honor your mother and your father, sweetheart.
Okay, I don't want to talk.
I get that much, but you don't have to be rude about it.
I said I don't want to talk.
I know that. I heard you the first 4 times, but you still need to stop being rude. That's the whole thing about it.
I'm telling you something and you're not listening.
Because I'm the parent, you can't tell me nothing. That's the thing.
I can express my feelings.
You definitely can, but you can do that without being rude as well. That's the whole thing. That's the key.
Okay.
You don't be rude and you don't be disrespectful. Okay, but you don't have to talk over me either. But you don't have to talk over me. So if you don't want to talk and you're going to talk over me, you could just be quiet and let me say what I got to say. You get that from your mama. But I love you and I miss you anyway.
Bye-bye.
What's up, y'all? It's me, Erica. I was down here. I was talking a little bit about that story. What's up? Talking about that story of that man who called his daughter and wouldn't let her get off the phone. And she asked him multiple times, told him multiple times she didn't want to talk to him. And he was kind of like forcing the conversation. It went viral. Everybody's talking about it. Of course, everybody has their views about it. I wanted to know what you guys thought about it. I'm going to play it for you so that you can hear it and then you can determine, what you thought about it. And I do want to break down the conversation because I think this parenting style that so many parents adopt, where they believe that it's okay to expect something from their children that they don't extend to their children, right? He told her in the conversation that she needed to honor her mother and father, her father and her mother. But what he was demonstrating wasn't honorable behavior. And just because you are her parent does not mean that you get to violate her boundaries. She created a boundary, told you that she didn't want to speak to you. You didn't ask why. You wanted to force a conversation. I'm concerned that you recorded it. I don't know what you're trying to prove. But you recorded a conversation. It's supposed to be, your child is supposed to be the person that is assigned to you to protect. And by exploiting her in order to feed whatever it is that you are trying to feed within yourself, to show the world that your daughter was being disrespectful when she asked you multiple times and told you multiple times that she didn't want to talk to you. She didn't want to talk to you because she doesn't like talking to you. And then you ask her, what's the reason? She just told you the reason. It doesn't matter that you don't like to hear the response, but she told you, I don't like talking to you. Now, maybe if you asked her, why don't you like talking to me? Then that would have been something else. But you wanted to force a conversation and then play the parent card as if she is supposed to abandon her boundaries to appease whatever it is that you're going through because you're her parent. I think it is so important that we get out of this parenting style where there is some hierarchy or feelings of superiority over children. It doesn't do the child any good. You believe that you can treat a child any kind of way just because you're their parent, and that you have the right to mistreat your child is not a place where we should be operating from. We should not even be fighting for a right to violate our children's boundaries. We shouldn't even be fighting for a right to discipline by corporal punishment, putting your hands on a child. I think we should go away and try to steer away from violating your child by putting your hands on them. I want you to think about this. If I'm a person, a child, who is depending on you for my survival, I depend on you for my survival. If I was left to be independent, I would die. So I'm depending on you for my survival, and yet you put yourself in position to harm me. So where do you start to begin trust with the child once you have violated their boundaries or put your hands on them? When they are supposed to be dependent on you for their survival, how do they trust you when you have violated them? I don't understand why we don't think that children deserve space to regulate their emotions. I don't understand why you have to bring a child to rage and then get some type of pleasure on that, like you have made a point that your child is disrespecting you. I don't understand that. Here, let's play it.
But dang, how you doing today? You always tell me that. But you won't even let me ask the question before you try to answer. Oh my goodness, Jimmy, why are you so rude to your daddy? But that doesn't give you a reason to be rude. You gotta honor your mother and your father, sweetheart.
You gotta honor your mother and your father, sweetheart. There goes that patronizing term of endearment, right? You have to honor your mother and your father. I had counted 6 times. She said, I don't want to talk to you because I don't like talking to you. And yet, you're still in her face asking her for a reason. What's the reason? I don't like talking to you. Isn't that enough? Why are you pushing her? Here we go.
I get that, but
7.
you don't have to be rude about it.
But you don't have to be rude about it. So the first time, I don't want to talk. I don't like talking to you. I'm trying to talk nicely to you. But after the 7th time, I'm probably going to be a little rude about it. Now, you can't expect me to be nice to you after I've asked you 7 times. Told you 7 times. I don't want to talk to you. Can you imagine some man on the street trying to talk to your daughter and she tells him 7 times, I don't want to talk to you? That's what he's teaching her. That you have to allow people to dishonor your boundaries because they keep asking over and over and over again. I'm so glad that no one was on the other line making her talk to him, because then that would be really messed up.
I know that.
That's 8.
But you still need to stop.
He said, I heard you the first 4 times. You clearly didn't hear her because she done told you 8 times, nigga, half of that. She done told you 8 times she don't want to talk to you.
That's the whole thing about it.
I'm telling you something and you're not listening.
Because
I'm telling you something and you're not listening. I'm telling you something and you're not listening. Let me tell you what, let's listen to what his rationale is for not listening.
Because I'm the parent, you can't tell me nothing. That's the thing.
Because I'm the parent, you can't tell me nothing. That's the thing. There are a lot of people who are operating and parenting their children exactly the way that this man is using his parenting skills right now. And I saw some man, well, if he decided he didn't want to talk to her anymore, clearly she don't want to talk to him. So let's do everybody a favor.
You definitely can. But
I can express my feelings. Okay, you said she can, but your behavior is telling her that she can't. You're lying.
You can do that without being rude as well. That's the whole thing. That's the key. You don't be rude and you don't be disrespectful. Okay, but you don't have to talk over me either. But you don't have to talk over me.
That's 9 times. I don't want to talk to you. That's the 9th time she done told him.
So if you don't want to talk and you're going to talk over me, you could just be quiet and let me say what I got to say. You get that from your mother.
You get that from your mother. She goes, "Ugh!" And he says, you get that from your mother. Well, if she learned that from her mother, I wonder when her mother demonstrated that rage, who she was engaging with at the time. I wonder. I'm not going to put anything on it. I don't want to speculate, but I'm just wondering if she learned how to be enraged from her mother. I wonder when she saw her mother demonstrate that behavior, who she was engaging with. I wonder. Then he says this to top it off.
I love you and I miss you anyway.
I love you and I miss you. No, you don't. You're not demonstrating love. You're not. That's not how you demonstrate love. The way you could have demonstrated love would have been, okay, sweetheart, I understand you're upset. Let me just say this and I'll let you get off the phone. Or, okay, sweetheart, I know you're upset. I'll let you get off the phone. Call me when you're feeling better. And let her get off the phone. And respect her. Teach her respect, because the only thing you're teaching her now is that you don't, as a male figure, you don't have to respect her. So when she comes across another male in her life and she tells him no, and he keeps going and going and going and going after her telling him 9 times, I don't want to talk to you. What advice would you give your daughter in that scenario? Then you should take that same advice. You should take that same advice. Whatever advice you would give your daughter, if a man, oh no, Erica, it's different. He's the father. No, it's not different. Because the first man that a child has a relationship with is their father, right? If they have one at all these days. But the first relationship with it is with her father, and you are showing her that when we engage with each other, I don't have to respect your boundaries. I can keep talking to you until I send you into a rage. And then I'm going to insult you and your mother, and then end it with, I love you. That is emotional abuse. That's emotional abuse. And there's no other way around it. And I really want black people, I really want us to start deprogramming this embedded slavery type parenting style. Like, it is very reminiscent of how slave owners and people who were enslaved engaged with each other. He even threw in a Bible quote, right? You are supposed to honor your mother and father. As your father is dishonoring you, you are supposed to honor your mother and father. And you see, we use these Bible quotes in order to justify some fuck shit behavior, but then you forget the part in the scripture that says you're not supposed to bring your children to wrath. Y'all can put the Bible quote down in the comments. Let me know if I'm wrong, because from my understanding and what I remember is you're supposed to honor your mother and father, but you're not supposed to bring your child to wrath. You let me know. What do you guys think that he's teaching his daughter by what you saw? Because he prefaced it. Now, we just got off of a conversation about exploiting children, embarrassing black kids for the internet, disciplining them, berating them, humiliating them. You guys, it's 2020. It's about to be 2022. 2022, and we are still talking to y'all and telling y'all have to unlearn this hierarchical parenting style of relating to your children. This I'm big, you're small, I'm smart, you're dumb. You do what I say, but I don't have to model those behaviors of what I'm expecting from you. That has got to stop. You guys, and you know, I saw somebody in the comments talking about my child's mouth would have been on the floor. But you got mental health advocate in your bio. Huh? What? How they do that? You are promoting corporal punishment, but you're a mental health advocate? Where they do that at? How? You don't understand the mental anguish that children go through when they have to look at the person that they are dependent on for their survival and they're harming them. Do you understand what that does to a child? And another thing, and I'm trying to be calm about this because when it's dealing with children, I get upset because I don't understand how, as an adult, you have completely disassociated yourself from your childhood, and you completely don't understand how it was to be the child who didn't want to hug the relative and was forced to hug somebody you didn't want to hug. Y'all don't remember these things? I don't understand how and then this one person was like, the father is superior over the child, that she's disrespectful, her mother is bitter, I don't even know how the mama got into it, because he mentions the mother. You want to talk about the mama's behavior? You learned that from your mom. So you want to talk about my mom, but you want me to talk to you? I gotta go. And if I were her mother, one, I would monitor their conversations, and two, I would tell her, my dear daughter, if your father calls and you do not want to speak to him, you don't have to talk to him. I would teach her that. I would teach her that I respect her boundaries even though he doesn't. I respect your boundaries. And if you don't feel like talking to your daddy today, you don't have to talk to him. Okay? You're not going to talk over me. She says, will you do it to me? So you want your daughter to model behavior that you don't model for her to replicate. Girl, what? That's a mess. You guys let me know what you think of the video. I'm going to play it at the end so you can get it, because I know I kind of chopped it up while talking about it. But you go ahead and listen to the video, and you can get down in the comments. Please be respectful to each other. I know that some of us have a lot of unlearning to do, and maybe the other comments in the comment section may allow you to see a different perspective if you come from the perspective of, my child is going to do what I tell them to do no matter how they're feeling. They have to allow me access to them, and how that is detrimental. Because another thing is, what parents like to do is like, while you're under my roof, and then you wonder when your child is no longer dependent on you for their survival, that you don't hear from them, that they leave the home and you don't hear from them, and you probably will get a call on maybe Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, or your birthday or Father's Day. But other than that, they don't want to be around you. And what you do when you violate your children like that, they don't trust you. That's one thing that's the main thing let me tell you something. Respect and trust are really the main things that you want from a child. You want them to respect you, but you got to respect them too. You can't disrespect them, because you will teach your child when you go out into the street, don't allow anybody to disrespect you. But then you are allowed to disrespect them. What kind of mind fuck are you doing? What are you doing? When you tell them, I don't have to model the behavior I expect you to model. I don't have to do it. And then when you tell the children, you're going to do as I say while you're under my roof, and just because I'm your child, I always have to listen to you. You have to understand, once your child is an adult, they do not. Once they are no longer dependent on you for their survival, they do not have to listen to you. They don't. They don't have to listen to you. They don't. They don't. And when they leave home and they don't want to talk to you anymore, you're going to have to remember, what did I teach my child? Did I teach my child it was okay for me to disrespect them? And they must respect me no matter what? What are you teaching? What's the lesson that he taught his daughter? What lesson do you think he taught his daughter in that demonstration? And why are you exploiting your daughter? Like, what are you doing? Like, your job is to protect her. Why would you put her on the internet so that you can prove that she's being disrespectful to you when you actually showed your ineffective parenting skills? If I was her mama, I wouldn't let him talk to her unsupervised. Not unsupervised, because I don't know what you're saying to her. I don't know what you're talking about. And I would definitely tell her, you do not have to answer the phone when your dad calls. If you don't want to talk to him, you don't have to answer. And then maybe you'll get the hint after 9 times, 10 times she told you, I don't want to talk. Boundaries, consent. If she says no 9 times and you don't stop, anyways, take care of each other, protect your energy. You guys let me know what you think of this video. You let me know what you think of, and then not giving the child the benefit of the doubt. That's what I couldn't understand. I don't understand, why do you guys forget? Y'all really be forgetting when you were children? Y'all really be forgetting because y'all be like, these young people. Like you were never young. What happens? What happens to y'all? That you disassociate yourself from your own childhood to the point where you don't even give a child the benefit of the doubt. When you get on the internet and call children finessers and scammers, when it's actually the adults. You forgot? Did you forget what it was like to be a kid? You should remember. You should sit down today, take 5 minutes, and sit down in silence and remember when you were a child. And remember. And then when you're looking at your child and you decide you want to disrespect your child's boundaries because you're their parent, who the hell are you? You're gonna see when it's all said and done and they don't depend on you for their survival anymore. You're not gonna see them. Ask my mama and daddy. Take care of each other. Peace.